still have people coming, but I'd like to have the doors closed. Anna, can I ask you to close the door? It is very unusual for Gavel Club to start that way. But as far as the vendors are concerned, you will have the opportunity after the high tea, and you'll have the media, you will have the opportunity to meet everyone during high tea. So those who go to the wrong hotel, I totally understand.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Voice Gavel Club's 14th graduation with a purpose. My name is. All right. My name is Alex Wu, and this is Sarah Dato. And tonight we will be your hosts for this amazing event. We have a great lineup of activities, presentations, and awards to celebrate the amazing contributions that our community has made. Now, let us all join me in. Now, everyone, please stand up as we start the national anthem. Now, everyone, please join me in welcoming our president, Mrs. Pearl Zhang, quite charming and a great communicator. The floor is yours, Pearl.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our graduation with a purpose 2024. 14 long years in Canada. So I've been a part of the Voice Gavel Club since grade 8, and now I'm in grade 12, about to graduate. And throughout my 5 years, I have seen it all. I've seen the club thrive even in times of the pandemic when we were all online, and we reached our goal of raising 20,000 Canadian dollars. I've seen the club fall when transitioning back to an in-person dynamic. But time and time again, Gavel Club has stood standing, and here we are today. So welcome graduates, Ms. Sadie, senior presidents, Cavaliers, family, friends, and all of our supportive guests. Today we're not just celebrating an epic journey in public speaking and humanitarian leadership, we're also here to make a difference. We have a purpose. So let's get to it. Everyone has worked super hard to get here, facing all kinds of challenges. We've grown, learned, and totally nailed it, even if it was with a few slip-ups in our dress code. Seriously, give yourselves a huge round of applause. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our amazing Mr. and Mrs. Zadie, parents, vendors, sponsors, models, volunteers, esteemed speakers, and supporters. Without you, we'd probably still be mumbling in front of the mirror. Your dedication and passion have helped shape these incredible young leaders. And parents, you're the real MVPs. Thanks for all the late night pep talks, rides to meetings, and everything in between. We definitely wouldn't be here without you. So let's talk about the real reason we're all here, a graduation with a purpose. So we're raising funds for orphans through the War Orphans Support Agency's City Kids Charity and our ongoing project of our little one and only Amit Sharif child with Mobius syndrome. This charity is all about giving orphans the support they need to succeed. Every dollar we raise today will go straight to them, making a huge difference in their lives. But wait, there's more. We're also launching a new project to support women who are victims of domestic violence. We're talking about providing safe spaces, resources, and hope to women who need it the most. So let's rally together and show some love and spirit here. And to all the beautiful women in this room, I'd like to read a quote from the World Life Institute founder, Dr. Gavel. To all the women who have endured the pain of domestic violence, remember that your strength and courage are immeasurable. You are not alone, and together we will create a world where your voice is heard, your safety is paramount, and your dreams are within reach. Dr. Djokovic always said there is no reason to be without hope. Now I know you're wondering, how can I help? And it's easy. You've already started by being here. You can become a monthly donor at our fundraising booth, participate in an auction today, support our vendors, or call the president of World Life Institute Canada, Miss Sadie, also our mentor. Every little bit helps, and trust me, it's going to feel great knowing you made a difference. So graduates, this is your moment. You've achieved something amazing, and we couldn't be prouder. Remember, this is just the start of your journey. Go out there, chase your dreams, and make the world a better place. And don't forget to stay in touch. We want to hear all about the amazing things you're going to do. So thank you all for being here and for your support. Let's celebrate our graduates and work together to build a brighter, more compassionate future. Congrats to the cohort of 2024. You did it. And Ms. Sadie, kudos to you. We were definitely not because a lot. Taping us might have been quite the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Next, we have a special presentation by Ritesh about the Gavel Club and World Life Institute. Where do we even start with Ritesh? Our very own charmer and Vice President of Education. While some of you might think Ritesh has been focusing on learning project speeches, let me tell you a little secret. He's been perfecting the art of charm, especially with the ladies. Seriously, this guy is smooth. Girls, you've been warned. Watch out for this one. But don't be fooled by his playful nature. When it's time to get serious, Ritesh transforms into the epitome of empathy and natural leadership. His ability to connect with people on a deeper level make him an invaluable mentor's pet. So let's give him a warm welcome. Everyone, Ritesh.
Thank you, Sarah, for that wonderful introduction. A little over-exaggerated, but what can I say? I am the charmer of the club. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you all so much for being here today to support us, the youth, and our drive to make a change. A quick round of applause for everyone here for your dedication and commitment. So, before we even start our wonderful grand evening, I want to take the time to inform you all about who we even are. First of all, you guys are probably thinking that we're part of the Men in Black franchise with our amazing suits, but let me tell you, there's more to just looking tip-top. Boy Scout Club. We are a non-profit youth organization affiliated with the Toastmasters International. We are a dedicated youth-led organization focused on enhancing our public speaking skills and leadership skills with the help of our mentor, Miss Sadie. She's a lifelong volunteer for this club with over 27 years with the Boy Scout Club, and we thank her for her service. However, Miss Lily doesn't just teach us Cavaliers. Sometimes we have to teach her.
Oh,
There's this old saying of her that goes, "There's no such thing as a stupid question." Ironically, she bothers all of us to find out why her broken computer doesn't work. Screen, help me, the screen isn't turning on. There's something called a power organization. Now, it's not just this year's Cavaliers who had to deal with these smart questions. The questions date all the way back to 2010. This is when the club's founders, Robin Hu and Benjamin Deng, started the club with hopes to help out international students hone their public speaking skills and better their English to persevere in the future. Now, our two founders have graduated from U of T Robin, and they are continuing to help whatever they can to our club and our members. Building on their legacy, our club has prospered so much in the last few years, and we are thanking them for taking the initiative to create the Boy Scout Club. Moving on to what we even do. First of all, we lead. We set an example to the youth in this generation and create our own goals that have paved the way to a better future, whilst also keeping the conduct of our club. Now, leadership comes in many forms. We have a team of office bearers who oversee the rest of the club and act like the parents of the house. Starting off, we have the president, Earl Zhang, as you guys have already met her. Then we have the co-president, Fazi Murami, who you will meet later. We have VP Education, which is the most important person on this list. Number 4, the secretary. We have the treasurer, VP Public Relations, VP Membership, and the sergeant at arms. It was not without leadership from these office bearers that we could create such a wonderful event for all of you. So a huge round of applause for us. That's great.
oh,
We also persuade by enhancing our communication skills, exercising healthy competition between us Cavaliers, and we use our skills to put it into practice. There are 10 projects that you must complete before becoming a competent Cavalier. The icebreaker speech, the prepared speech, and the debate, to name a few. This year, we took a challenge and participated in the Global Nuclear Awareness Program, where 4 Cavaliers, including myself, participated in an event where we presented to over 180 people about the downsides of nuclear energy. Finally, we inspire. We aren't just working for ourselves, but each and every one of us work and strive to better the world and our own lives. We hold events like the Humanity Day and fundraisers, discussing our ideas to the community and prompting others to take action. So, coming to the end, how do you take initiative? I'm looking at the youth in this room. Get up and make a difference in the world and in your lives. Join the Boy Scout Club. You can ask any of our members how helpful it is. You can visit our website link right there and sign up today. We are recruiting from middle schoolers all the way to high school, with a one-time payment of $35,000 per year. Parents, you can also encourage your kids to join. It's a lovely experience, and I have way much more to say. However, we have our very own booth outside of the vendors, and you can learn more right there. Now, enough about us. Let's turn to another remarkable organization that also helped organize this event: the World Life Institute. The Boy Scout Club is a proud partner of the World Life Institute. They are a non-profit humanitarian and educational organization that, unlike other charities, have volunteers that work 100% for the charity. They provide advanced education and awareness programs, aid to war orphans and other child victims of war and disaster in conflict life. They provide ESL, civics, and art programs to the World Life Institute Education Center and distribute academic, scientific, and inspirational writings through their comic shops. Their head office is located in Waterport, USA, but the Boy Scout Club also visited this year for our fundraising. Now, the founder of this massive institution is a man named Dr. Asaf Tarakovich. Photo on the screen right there. He's a well-reputed man who used to work for the Pentagon. Dr. Asaf Tarakovich was a survivor of the Second World War himself, as he witnessed his father being bulldozed in front of his eyes. Him and his family also had to inhabit a small room with one working cleaner. for almost a year to protect themselves. Afterwards, he became a world-renowned medical doctor and nuclear expert who established the World Life Institute. He is the mentor of our mentor. With over 176 pages of CV, you can learn more about him on the World Life Institute website. Although not with us today, he did teach us and inspired our very first cohort and is surely proud of what they institute. Concluding with the World Life Institute, I want everyone to acknowledge a small but very impactful quote from Dr. Asaf to Dr. himself. There is no reason to be without hope. Now, just like always, and as our President Jose mentioned, the Boy Scout Club is graduating with a purpose. What does it even mean to graduate with a purpose, you may ask? I speak on behalf of all our members and graduates of this year's cohort when I say that we are a lucky bunch. None of us have to ration our food, worry to see tomorrow, or have all the love and care that we can imagine. Why should our peers on the other side of the fence suffer for decisions made for them, suffer for something they didn't do, suffer when they just want to live? Ask yourselves this: what is war? Why should it even happen? Where does it leave the global community? Our purpose is very important to us because it keeps us close to reality. It keeps us away from doing the sin of ignorance. It nurtures our soul to be awake to serving and sharing, and most importantly, as students, we walk the journey of true knowledge rather than ignorance. What I am about to talk about will take us to the journey of which none of us have probably experienced, but many are victims on a daily basis. Maybe even now, as I'm up here speaking, there is someone being killed for existing, someone being abused, or someone even suffering. There is an imbalance in the world's ways because of race, power, faith, greed, and culture. We created our own boundaries to allow humanity to suffer. We are our own enemies. This brings me to our very first cause for today, war weapons. I ask you all to please direct your attention to the images on the slides while listening to this part of the presentation. These images were taken and sent to us by the World Life Institute. Take a look at the malnourished children. These photos. Look at the clothes they're wearing. Do they feel dignified? Do they feel important? Take a look at the eyes of these children. Do you see any hope in them? These children, they are silenced, knowing nothing but fear. And what's to happen to them if they live in this fear constantly? Won't they feel a despair? It's our job to restore their hope by bringing them to the peaceful side, fulfill the freedom that was once snatched from them, by giving them the love and affection that they never wanted, by giving them friends and family, giving them education and creativity, to give them joy in their little lives, and to give them fun. To let these kids become kids all over again. To bring their once healthy bodies, to bring back their once healthy and strong bodies. And to give them the medical attention that they were never given, the dental care, the eye care, the advanced care in some situations, and the medical aid. For example, this is Sabir. He's a war veteran from Afghanistan, whom Miss Sadie herself brought back to the US in 2009. He suffers from hemophilia, a disease that impairs the body, making blood clots. He's now successfully a nurse and married with a child. Many volunteers help these war veterans in the rehabilitation centers and send them back to their homes with confidence and knowledge. They are given a grand welcome from their family and even frequent visits from the volunteers. This is a before and after picture. Before she's in the rehabilitation. Look at her eyes, look at her face, look at her skin. And look at her afterwards, glowing. Murad, he left his home and returned to give his mom the life that she lost. However, we have sadly lost him during the pandemic. And now we are looking to expand our work by providing for kids here to allow them to recover their hope and dignity. Now, moving on to our second cause, Ahmed Sheriff. Ahmed is a 9-year-old boy from Toulouse, Tunisia, and he has suffered from an undiagnosed chronic illness affecting multiple systems of his body since birth. Despite the diligent efforts of his parents, Miriam and Amjad, to seek help from pediatricians and specialists in Tunisia, they have been unable to find a diagnosis or appropriate treatment for it. Ahmed continues to suffer. He suffers from left side facial paralysis and a split tongue, preventing him from properly chewing food. At 8 years old, he weighed only 35 pounds and was only 43 inches tall, due to a bone growth, making him very small for his age. He is also developmentally delayed. Ahmed has never seen a dentist, attended school, or played with other children, living in isolation. Ahmed is entirely nonverbal, and he requires assistance with personal hygiene. Born with clubfoot, he had to wear head braces. He also suffers from respiratory issues and low immunity. Despite having painful dental issues, he's never seen a dentist. Ahmed's condition prevents him from sleeping at night and has led to a failure to thrive. He's a patient at Golisana Children's Hospital in Rochester. He has been referred to consultations with surgery, gastrointestinal, and oral-facial teams. A long series of tests and assessments lies ahead for any real diagnosis and treatment plan to be established. He's been under the care of the World Life Institute since January of 2023, and everyone is so glad to see him improving. Even in this image, this is when the Boy Scout Club went all the way down to New York to visit him. You can see Ahmed all the way there to the right, and we decided it would be a great idea to give him a few gifts. We all had 10 gifts, and we each gave him one. And that is me giving Ahmed a gift. Moving on to our third cause, City Kids Charity. City Kids Charity is an organization located in Berlin, aimed to end child poverty and see a future where all children achieve their full potential. They are changing lives one at a time. And finally, coming to our last cause, we are launching another cause, women and child victims of abuse and domestic violence. So let's talk about some examples of domestic violence. We have violent or aggressive behavior, marriage or cohabitation, serious and complex issues in their family, manifests itself in all societies' age, race, gender, sexual orientation, faith, or class. And it's also power and control. What are some forms of violence? There's physical abuse, there's sexual abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, and neglection. Now, what are the mental effects of domestic violence? We have PTSD, severe anxiety, uncontrollable thoughts, depression, low self-esteem, suicidal thoughts, or even attempts, alcohol, and drug use. What's the emotional and spiritual effect of domestic violence? Hopelessness, feeling unworthy, apprehensive and discouraged about their own future, an inability to trust people, questioning and doubting their own spiritual faith and religion, unmotivated. Here are some statistics that we found from this presentation. Every 6 days, a woman in Canada is killed by her intimate partner. Women are about 4 times as likely as men to be victims of intimate partner homicide. 70% of spousal violence is not responsible for the police. And Manitoba has the highest domestic violence homicide rates among all the provinces. Take a look at these posters that we found online. On the right, you can see a poster. November is month for domestic abuse, for women domestic abuse. And in the middle, we have a card and call. There's a phone number and a website you can visit to report any signs of abuse. And just take a look at this image. A woman being chained and was silenced. Here are 5 actions that privileged individuals can take to address and mitigate issues like war, domestic violence, poverty, and injustice. First of all, educate themselves and others. Know what's happening around you and tell people. Number 2, advocate for change. Have your own voice. Speak for your own rights. Number 3, support charitable organizations just like us, just like you guys visiting here today. Number 4, engage in community service. Help the youth, help us. And number 5, promote equality and inclusivity. To conclude my presentation, I'd like to highlight the World Life Institute's mission of rebuilding hope. As Dr. Asaf Durakovich wisely once said, there's no reason to be without hope. Together, we can make a profound difference in the lives of those in need, creating a future filled with optimism and possibility. I'd like to thank you all so much for your undisturbed attention. While we move on, please take a moment to stare at this poster and understand what's going on.
Thank you, Ritesh. That was an amazing presentation. Up next, we have Wali Shah please welcome him to the stage.
Gavel Club, please rise.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. And good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing today? My name is Wally, and I was part of the Gavel Club for one of your meetings just a few months ago, so thank you for being back. And a huge congratulations to all our graduating students. Let's give a little round of applause. I'll keep our remarks short, but I do think back to when I was in school and my life when I was really trying to establish myself as a young person. And I went to school in Mississauga, not too far from here, some of you know. I went to Cawthorpe Park Secondary School. Shout out to Cawthorpe. I know that makes Hannah very happy since Hannah's a current student at Cawthorpe. But when I was in school, when I was growing up here in Mississauga, we did have our own personal challenges as a family, and I have to say I owe a lot of who I am to my parents. And to all the parents in the room right now, the sacrifices that you have made for your children, today is why you did it. This is why you are here. So for all the parents in our room, especially those immigrant parents that have sacrificed so much for you guys, let's give them a round of applause. And so I think often back to my family, especially my mother, and we come from Pakistan, we're South Asian, and we're Muslim. And so growing up, we had our struggles with culture and assimilating to Canada, my parents learning the English language. We also struggled with money. Finances were always very tight for us. And I remember, we were so poor, there were days where I had dry cereal, no milk, and I would go off to elementary school because my parents just didn't have money to buy milk. We were so poor. I make this joke to my friends all the time. We were so poor that if a thief came to our house and said, "Hey, where's the money? I'm gonna find your money. Give me all your money wherever it is," I'd be like, "Brother, I don't know where it is. Let me help you find it." Like, we were that poor. And I think about those moments and how those moments actually defined who I was. Because it was those difficulties and those challenges that made me understand the value of empathy. Graduation and graduating isn't simply just about finishing high school or going off to university or finishing university, going off to the workplace. I think it's about learning, and you all learn throughout life. And one of the greatest things that I learned from my own personal experiences growing up with these challenges was to be able to empathize with others. And as I mentioned this, I think back to a couple of slides that were played here, especially about children internationally that are impoverished. They don't have the opportunities that you have here to go to school, to be able to be in an event like this, to be at a club like Gavel Club. There's millions of kids that don't have opportunities like this. And a few years ago, I got the chance to go back to my home country of Pakistan. And when I went back to Pakistan, I was a grown man now, 27 years old. And I haven't gone back since I was like 10. My grandmother passed away, we visited the family, so I haven't gone back in 17 years. And to be honest, as a part of the culture here in Canada, if you don't work to retain your cultural identity, you often end up losing it as you assimilate. So I wasn't very fluent in our native language, but over the past couple of years, I have really made an effort to learn my language again. So when I went back to Pakistan, I was able to speak Urdu and communicate with the people and learn about their struggles. So I was there for a humanitarian trip. I was there with an organization called Muslim Hands. And Muslim Hands build wells and schools and hospitals for people that are impoverished. And so we were in a very remote area in the desert in Pakistan. Some of you might be familiar. In Pakistan, you know, yes. So some of you may be familiar. It's an area called Fort Abbas. Fort Abbas is a very desolate desert area in Pakistan. And so we're traveling through this desert, and we're on our way to build a water project, a water filtration project for the desert community. And as we approached, we're in a bunch of Jeep SUV cars, and there's a body of water. It's like a man-made pond. And as we approached, one of our tour guides was telling us that this is where the village and the children drink and get their water for cooking. And they use it for wudu, for ablution when they pray. And I remember walking up to the water and seeing it, and it was green. It was green. And as the villagers started approaching the water, they bring all their cattle with them. On one side of this water, you have children bathing, drinking, making wudu to pray with this water, and on the other side of this exact same pond, you have cattle that are bathing and defecating. Can you imagine seeing something like that? We are so privileged in Canada. We're so privileged in the Western world. Sometimes not being exposed to these things can cause us to live in a sheltered environment. But as you graduate, I want to really urge you, at whatever point in your life, travel and see the world. Meet the people, learn their language, speak to them and ask them questions. There was a kid that I met there. And again, my Urdu was not very, very strong, but I could communicate with him. And I was asking him about what he wanted to do the most in his life. And you know what he said? He said, I want to go to school. I want to go to school. Now, how many of you in the Youth Gavel Club skipped school this year? Raise your hands. I'm joking. I'm joking. But when we think about, when we travel and we meet these people, when we think about their circumstances, when we empathize with them, we begin to appreciate our lives so much more. Again, learning is every day. Graduating is every day. I urge you, as you move forward into this next chapter of your lives, take the time to meet those people that you advocate for. Don't let them just be statistics or images on a PowerPoint presentation, but let them be people in your mind The boy that I met that day, his name was some 11-year-old boy from Fort Myers. And I wrote something poetic after meeting him that I want to share with you today that hopefully encourages you all to think about whether you can make a contribution towards some of these causes. This is what I wrote. What if you were left an orphan and you never went to school? Before you held a pen, you learned to hold a tool. What if you never had enough for your family to eat? What if you had to beg for food on the corner of the street? What if your home was bombed and burned down? What if disaster ravaged your whole town? What if disease was running out of control? What if you had to drink dirty water right out of a hole? Just imagine what these horrors can do. It's time to count your blessings and imagine that was, because this is reality. There's so many across the world, but that reality can change. Because we are their home. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna wrap it up there, but I just one more time want to congratulate all our graduating students and all the families. I'm so proud of you, and best of luck in this next chapter. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Wally. I really hope that I could become a great speaker like you someday. Especially considering the amount of times I've fumbled. Anyways. Up next, let's welcome Zaina and Zaman Zaidi, our little speakers and ambassadors of humanity.
Hello everyone, my name is Amy and I'm proud to be standing here before you because I know times can be tough, especially regarding war, conflicts in our world, and mostly just trying to support our families. Therefore, I decided to talk about the children my age and younger who have lost their families due to war and the parents constantly worrying about them. I can understand that not everyone can see through the lens of generosity and empathy. Some things are just too painful to forget or ignore. Yet I'd like to speak to those who have committed these terrible injustices and remind them of the impact that they have made to many innocent children. If we unite together as one, we may have the opportunity to end these wars, and with every possibility lies more faith growing stronger. By doing this, we can spread awareness to those who are unsure of what's happening in today's fast-paced world. The solution lies in fostering empathy, spreading awareness, and promoting kindness and generosity in our life. Educating people and children on this is an important example of being a leader of compassion for community. To everyone in the audience, you have the power to make a difference, and your only limits are the ones you set for yourself. You can choose your goals, pick your path. Finally, imagine if you were one of these poor children. How would you continue to have hope every single day? Thank you for listening and for your time.
Hello everyone, my name is Zaman Zaidi and I am 8 years old. Today I want to talk to you about something very important. About kids my age who don't have a mom or dad because of the terrible wars happening around us. These unfortunate kids are called war orphans. War is very bad. It makes people fight and lose their homes. Sometimes kids lose their parents because of the fighting. These kids feel very sad and lonely because they don't have anyone to take care of them. They need food, eat and clean water, a place to sleep, and some keep them company. Can you imagine not having your mom or dad to cook you food, or listen to your needs, or keeping you safe and out of harm's way? Well, that's how these kids feel every day. But we can help them. We can give them food, clothes, and a safe place to live by putting a dent in your bank account. We can also give them toys and books to make them happy. Most importantly, the children that we care and that they are loved. Even though I'm young, I know that if we all work together, we can make a big difference. Please, let's help the war orphans. They need to meet their friends and family. Thank you for listening and helping kids my age. Let's let them be kids again.
Thank you, Zaina and Zayman. You're both very brave for coming up today. Now, why don't you all join us in an auction? Please remember that this is our first auction of tonight and that we are here to serve and share.
The title of the piece is called Children of the Discipline. It's good. It's made out of acrylics, silver foil, and the piece is set to be on tethered souls of the orphans of home, uprooted from all that is safe and live.
In the silent auction, it was started with 150 and has gone to 180 now. Anyone can take this? Our artist is here at the moment, and I'd like you all to give her a round of applause. He also has a booth outside, so please, any takers? For this 180. Sorry? 200. Any more? Anyone else? Further? All the funds are going to go to the war orphans. Can we see? Again. So we're going to go down and show her from the first stage. That lady here. You can come and see. Anybody who wants to see it closely can stand up and ask. I've got a bidder for 220 online. $250. Okay. So all right then. 250. What do you say? I have no idea what to say. 250 it is. So give it to Miss. Yes, card also. Thank you.
Let us welcome our debater to the stage. It is student versus teacher. Derek versus Mrs. Zara. Now come on up. Where are you two? Somewhere back there? Come on. Now the topic is, should artificial intelligence be banned in school? Miss Zara is for it and Derek is against it. Now, this is, come on, where's Miss Zara?
It's right here.
Come on up. Well, Miss Zara, trust me, you'll need it.
Hello everybody. So this is the time for a bit of comic relief in the proceedings. Just for a little background, I've never debated. I'm not part of the Voice Gavel Club, and I was set up entirely for this. So please bear that in mind as we proceed. Okay, so our debate today is I would like to invite my esteemed 7th grade opponent to debate with me the topic of should AI be banned in schools. Now, my position in this regard is that yes, AI should be banned for students to use in school. Today what we are going to do is tread upon a digital battleground, so to speak, discussing whether it should be banned in school. And before my opponent programs Siri to deliver their arguments, let's dive into why we should indeed press Control-Alt-Delete on AI in our educational institutions. Now, my argument number 1 would be the loss of human touch. You know, this is an era where screens replace human interaction a lot of the time. The introduction of AI in schools could further erode the irreplaceable, I would say, human element that is pivotal in education. Studies have shown that students benefit most from the socio-emotional connections they make with teachers and with their peers, which AI can't replicate. According to the psychologist Dr. Sherry Turkle from MIT, face-to-face conversation is the most humanizing activity we engage in, even in class, between teachers and students. And it's crucial for developing empathy and deep understanding of one another. Now, imagine, a world where AI is your teacher. Siri, can you help me with my problems? Yes, I found 12 therapists near you. So, what I want to say is that this is a serious concern that the human connection is in danger of being broken by artificial intelligence. Which brings me to my second argument, which is regarding privacy concerns. Now, the use of AI in schools has in the past and probably will continue to raise many significant privacy concerns. With constant data collection and harvesting, there's a real risk of sensitive student information being mishandled and systems, learning platforms being hacked into, which has been the case in the past, and unfortunately, school boards have dealt with this in reality. A 2020 survey by the National Education Association highlighted that 77% of teachers are very worried about student data privacy with online learning platforms. That's a huge figure. That's a huge number of teachers who share my concerns. So, on another lighter note, I asked an AI to keep a secret. He said, or it said, "I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm cloud-based." So, okay, I'm not good at jokes. Okay, third point, our dependence on technology. Now, our over-reliance on AI could and certainly will impair critical thinking and problem-solving skills in students. It's essential that we don't allow machines to do the thinking for us. Research from many places, one of which is the Cognitive Research Journal, suggests that students who frequently use technology may experience reduced analytical abilities as they tend to accept solutions provided by AI without question. So it's like using a GPS so often that we can't navigate our own neighborhood without it, I think, essentially. Now to conclude, so we're standing here at the crossroads of innovation on one side and tradition on the other. Why don't we choose a path that keeps our schools human, respects our privacy, and fosters independent thought? Let's not allow our students to become mere extensions of a machine. After all, if we start depending too much on AI, who will teach the robots about Shakespeare, Hamlet, for example? I'm an English teacher, you can probably tell. Last time I checked, by discussing this with an AI, they thought Hamlet was a small village. So AI has a long way to go in explaining much of literature and a lot more other than that. So remember, even the smartest AI doesn't know that the best way to understand a 7th grader is not through data points, but through heart-to-heart chats about their favorite superhero or the toughest boss in a video game. So let's keep AI out of our classrooms. Let's vote for that. Not in order to stop progress, but to nurture the very essence of what keeps us all human. Thank you.
Over to you, Joe. Testing. Is this audible?
Yes, can you all hear?
Yes. Good evening, my friends. I'm the spirited 7th grader that my opponent has become. It seems like almost everyone seems to forget that I'm in grade 8.
Oh.
Almost.
So, irrelevant tangents aside, I would like to move down the path. The objectively better reality that my opponent is trying to take away from us. They're trying to take away the schooling that we once could only dream of. They're trying to take away the schooling that we deserve. We deserve the most vulnerable members of our society no longer having to spend their lives in a school. So ladies and gentlemen, help yourselves and your children fill out AI in schools. So what will I be doing for you today? I will be giving you my 2 constructive points on why AI should be allowed in schools, and then I will be having a period of refutation where I will report my opponent's arguments. So, onto my first point. AI can help personalization for the curriculum of the children. AI basically learns from data and experiences given to it, and then it improves on itself over and over again. This is called reinforcement learning. Oh, so to start off, I would like to ask the audience a question. Who are the most disadvantaged people in our education system? The most disadvantaged, and in many cases the most helpless, are the people that require special needs. These are people that have neurodivergence issues, they have inhibitions and problems that stop them from learning as well as regular people, and as a result they require more help. They require curriculums and learning materials that are specially catered to their needs. However, this is incredibly costly and very hard for social workers and their parents to do. This is where AI comes in. For example, AI chatbots like ChatGPT can be trained onto your speech preferences, and then it can create curriculums, questions, and worksheets that are tailored to your needs. AI can explain integral calculus at your level of 6th grader. It can explain the concepts of linear square regression at your level. It can even give you suggestions of advanced sounding mathematical concepts to put in your domain. All that one needs is to simply ask the chatbot, and then it starts chugging away. It does the work. Even if you need to do a little bit more work, that's still significantly less work that a social worker and their loved ones of these disadvantaged students have to do.
My opponent says that this would take away the human touch of schooling, but this is not the case. You see, caretakers and loved ones are still going to be there. They still need physical help. However, we believe here on side opposition that AI can help create this curriculum, which means that these social workers will not have to rewrite the entire Canadian mathematical curriculum just for 1 year of schooling, which can be made more efficient with AI. So, on to my next point. AI is the future. Not allowing our children to interact with AI will cause them to be far behind. And it's also lethal. AI is a thing of the future, my friends. And it is possibly one of the biggest technological advances we've ever had in the history of us. You can see it almost everywhere nowadays. You can see it on social media, trying to get you to keep on scrolling. You can see it also on security cameras, and sometimes even on smart ovens. The list is endless. The most popular chatbot service, ChatGPT, averages 1.8 billion users monthly. This is nearly 1/5 of the world's population that is going and accessing AI. Artificial intelligence is here, and it has proven itself to be an indispensable part of our society. Tech support workers, for example, use it to streamline their careers, with chatbots taking the more clerical problems, whereas the trained professionals can actually spend their time being much more valuable at the higher level jobs. If we were to confiscate this amazing technology from our younger generation, they will fall behind. They would fall behind to a problem that would have been completely preventable. The newest generations would be thrown into a society that revolves around a single thing, AI. However, our newest generation would have no idea what it is. They would have had their earliest childhood being herded away from AI, and thus they would not know how to use it. This would put them at a great disadvantage. This is also added to the fact that it is incredibly hard to regulate. As many schools right now are allowing children to bring their computers into classrooms, teachers are already finding it hard to make sure that kids are on the right tabs and not playing Fortnite. School systems have tried to block applications on school laptops, but kids would always find a way around this. If the school system tries to regulate the usage of AI, it would be nigh impossible, and good for nothing else other than generating ridicule in the school system that is already down. So now onto my refutation. My opposition has given you a point that if you allow children to use AI for long periods of time, they will start to rely on it, and then their analytical skills will start to degrade. Well, yes, and they will start to be big. My opposition also said that this would create a dependency on AI, and sometimes AI is rarely wrong. While yes, AI does rarely spit out correct information, this is not at the fault of AI. AI is trained onto a data set that came from the internet. None of the stuff that ChatGPT is telling you is made up by itself. It all found it somewhere on the internet. This is where my opponent's argument falls apart, because their problem that there's misinformation is not exclusive to their own point. The problem of misinformation exists as long as there's no internet, and I believe that an internet exists on the world, which mitigates their argument. They also said that children will forget how to think analytically because AI will do everything for them. However, this is not true because there's no incentive for them to use AI for their grades. Those who have used ChatGPT before can relate and are pretty familiar with the concept that chatbots are great at yapping, or essentially they are great at giving you a full essay without much substance or content. Teachers mark your essay based on this content, so if you just put it through ChatGPT and copy paste, you're not going to get very good mark, which means there is a very low incentive for children just to plagiarize from ChatGPT. My opponent has also flagged some privacy concerns. They said there was privacy concerns regarding AI, but they really never gave a good reason. They gave us a statistic about how 77% of teachers are worried. Wow, they're worried. That's great. That doesn't really tell us much. I assume that they also never said how this privacy is going to get leaked, but I assume that this is similar to how
Thank you. Thank you, MP Ikra Khalid. Up next, our very special guest, Miss Nikki Dani. We are thrilled to introduce Miss Eco Canada International 2024. Nikita Dani is a Toronto-based model and content creator. Earlier this year, she was crowned Miss Eco International 2024 second runner-up after representing Canada at one of the largest international beauty pageants, Miss Eco International 2024. Her versatility shines through her diverse modeling portfolio, spanning editorial, runway, photography, music videos, and commercials. A graduate of York University's business program, Nikita holds a Bachelor's of Commerce honors degree specializing in supply chain, with 10 plus years of experience with MC work, event coordination, and performance. Nikita has been invited as a singer and guest speaker to various events. Nikita grew up learning music and began teaching music to children a few years ago. It was through teaching that she realized how young people like herself and her colleagues can impart not only music education, but also life skills to the next generation. On a personal note, as someone who has experienced and overcome anxiety, Nikita is passionate about raising awareness of and breaking the stigma around mental illness. Let's welcome Miss Nikita Dani with a big applause.
Yeah, you can use that one.
Testing, okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. My name is Nikita Dani, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. I actually have had the opportunity to be a part of this event now for 3 years. This is my 3rd year here, thanks to Mrs. Zaidi, and also thanks to the Boys Gavel Club. So I would just like to start by saying congratulations to all of the graduates. Let's hear a huge round of applause for all of you. With my platform heels, I'm a little tall for this mic, so I'm just gonna switch over to this one over here. Hello, testing. Turn it on. Hello. Okay, there we go. So I just wanted to say thank you once again for having me here tonight. This event always resonates with me on a personal note because I was actually a part of my elementary school's Toastmasters Club. And that experience is really what ignited my love for public speaking. It's also what showed me how much power one individual voice can have, but how much more power our voices can have when we come together. Not only public speaking, but also music, performance, modeling. These are all things that I've been so passionate about and I've been so lucky to pursue. And 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to pursue pageantry. Pageantry is something that has always inspired me. I've seen these incredible, talented, inspiring women who take to the stage, who perform, and who really advocate for the causes that are close to their hearts. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. So I applied for my very first provincial pageant, Miss World Ontario, and I competed there and won, which allowed me to compete nationally at Miss World Canada. And what followed is I was crowned Miss Eco Canada 2024. And I had the opportunity to compete at one of the largest international beauty pageants, Miss Eco International. It actually just took place 2 months ago. It took place in Egypt. It was one of the most incredible journeys of my life, and it is also something that taught me the power of resilience and the power of kindness. And that's really what my talk is going to be focused on today. So just like with the Boys Gavel Club, I know that you work very hard to prepare for your debates and also to prepare your public speaking skills just in general for your life. And so with anything, with pageantry, it's the same. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. And the approach to the preparation is very well-rounded. So for example, we prepare by going to the gym, by training with a personal trainer. So I was in the gym for the past 2 years, 5 days a week, no cheat days, no skipping, on a very strict nutrition plan. I was also training for runway with a runway coach who's based in Thailand. I was practicing my runway skills, my modeling skills, my speaking skills, training with the former Miss Universe. So there's really just so much growth, training, and learning that goes into this journey. And the actual pageant itself is such a small fraction of what actually goes into the entire process. So here I was on April 15th. I thought, you know, the toughest part is behind me. The preparation is over. Now it's time to embark on a journey, to really enjoy it and to have fun. And so I'm at Pearson International Airport, ready to leave, ready to represent our wonderful country, not knowing what's going to happen next. I land in Dubai. I decided to fly with Emirates because, you know, I've heard such wonderful things about Emirates. We land in Dubai, and we actually land during one of the worst storms that Dubai has ever seen in 75 years. So we're at the airport, we're thinking, okay, it's raining outside, nothing's gonna go wrong, all good, just a little bit of rain, we're a little delayed. And that little delay went to 25 hours. So we were stranded in the airport for 25 hours without knowing when we would be getting out, without knowing what would happen, with almost no food, with almost no sleep, running from gate to gate every hour as they would delay our flights and as they would update us. And I'm thinking, you know what, it's okay. Things happen, we were meant to go through this, we're gonna get to Egypt, it's all gonna be fine. Might be a little late for the pageant, they'll understand. What happened next is we get on a flight, we go to Cairo. And while I'm waiting for this flight to Cairo, I met this wonderful, extraordinary woman named Rania. Rania was actually flying to Cairo because she lives there. She lives in Cairo and in Minnesota. And I met her in line while we were waiting for our flight. And I said, oh my gosh, I loved your outfit. You know, she was just so fashionable. She said, thank you. And I said, do you work in fashion? She said, no, I actually am an entrepreneur. I started my own company where we build houses. I said, that's wonderful, that's incredible. I got to hear a little bit about her story, not thinking it would go anywhere, but we land in Cairo, only to find out that none of our luggages were sent with us. And now, just to put it into perspective, when I travel normally, I might have one suitcase, as many of us do. For pageants, we have about 4 different areas of competition per day. So that's 4 outfits per day across 12 days. All of these outfits are curated, they're sponsored, they're custom designed by Canadian designers who are looking to have their designs showcased on an international platform. So when I landed in Cairo to find out I had nothing, my heart sank. And I thought to myself, how am I going to compete with women from all over the world who have been training just as hard as me, who have been dreaming just as much as me for this opportunity? How am I going to do it? But I will say the one thought that never crossed my mind was quitting. Never once did I think, I'm going to turn around and go home, or I'm not going to do this. I said, I have this incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to represent Canada. This doesn't come around very often, so we got to get into solutions mode. We got to figure out a solution. And so I saw Rania, and we ran to her, and I said, please, is there anything you can do to help me? And she said, yes, of course. I'm going to set you up in a hotel for the night. You're going to come to my house, and I'm going to give you my own clothes, my own wardrobe, so that you can go on and compete. A complete stranger, who I had just met 12 hours before this, was willing to help me in this situation without even knowing me. And it's something I will never forget because it's an act of kindness that fully revived my hope for this pageant. So we go to the hotel, we go to Rania's house, she gives me a wardrobe, and the next day I'm off to compete at Miss Eco International. I was a day late, but you know what, the show must go on. And so I had a big smile on my face when I walked in, excited to meet everybody, excited to meet all of my pageant sisters, the organization. Competed for 9 out of the 12 days with not one of my own pieces. Every day I would go to sleep and I would get my schedule and we would try to figure out what are we going to wear tomorrow? How am I going to be able to meet the requirements of these challenges? And after 9 days, my bags arrived in Cairo the day that I needed them on stage. So the stage elements are the only ones that you can't really ever recreate the pieces, you know? You have very specific wardrobe requirements. You work with very specific designers to create these beautiful, beautiful costumes pieces that represent the country. And I got the pieces on that day, and it almost just felt like, you know what, I've been working hard, everyone has been believing in me, supporting me. And these pieces were just meant to arrive so that I could wear them for these days. So what I did learn from that first 9 days was it didn't matter what I wore. What mattered was who I was and how I was able to showcase that no matter the challenge, no matter the obstacle. And that's exactly what happened by the end of the pageant on the very last day, on finals night. For the first time in almost 10 years, Canada was announced as second runner-up, and it's the highest placement that we've seen in almost a decade. It was an incredible feeling, not just because I had achieved something myself, it's because I had achieved something with the support of so many. It was a team effort. All of my coaches, all of my pageant sisters who were there helping me, Rania, people all over the world who were calling me, emailing me during this pageant saying, hey, I'm in Dubai, I'm gonna go to the airport right now and see if I can get your bags. That was another complete stranger, Yusuf. Or people who were emailing me saying, hey, send me your bag tags, I'm gonna find your bags. Just the amount of kindness and support and love that I had through the entire process, so heartwarming, something I will never forget. And like I said, it's something that just brought back my hope and made me keep going and keep fighting no matter the obstacles that stood in my way. And what I want to say to all of you, to all of the graduates, is as this chapter closes for you, another chapter is about to begin, another exciting chapter. And it's inevitable that you are going to face obstacles, that you are going to face challenges, but I'm so confident when I see all of you that we are in such excellent hands with the next generation of young people, of youth. And I'm so excited to see all of the amazing things that you continue to accomplish. You have shown so much kindness in the initiatives that you're part of. You've shown so much hard work and dedication, not only with the Boys Gavel Club, but also with all of your endeavors. I'm so excited to continue watching all of the incredible things that you are going to accomplish. Thank you so much for having me. And with that, I would like to leave you with one final quote that has always really, really inspired me. It's by Walt Disney. All of our dreams will come true if we just have the courage to pursue them. Thank you so much.
Nikki, can we request you to share your beautiful voice?
Oh, yes, of course. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. So I'm going to be singing. A song called The Climb. It's by Miley Cyrus, so some of you may or may not know this song, but it's really all about the fact that we are going to face obstacles and challenges and how we can push past them and still achieve our dreams. Yeah, you can try.
Anna, can you please come here? Our DJ.
sorry about this, everyone. This was a surprise for Nikki a little bit.
You want to do a different song also? What was I made for you? Or you do that way. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. We're going to get started.
See it in the trees. Think about how fast I live. Think about what's waiting on the other side. It's the cloud. It's the cloud. Thank you so much.
Well, these are busy people. They take out their beautiful time and precious time for us in the Gavel years. So I'm very grateful to Nikki coming here and supporting the Voice Gavel. May I please ask Zara Zaidi and our charmer Ritesh to please come and present this award to Nikki on behalf of course, one. First award is for Orange Models, who she is representing here today. It was the modeling agency that supported the Voice Gavel Club's efforts today. You saw the models here. And I would also like to call Zara and Ritesh to present a thank you certificate for Nikki. Nikki has been a great supporter. Zara, would you like to give this one to us? I think I need to be out of here. Here, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful singing, Nikki. Up next, we have a presentation by Mr. Paul Wouters. The story is extremely heartwarming, so let's give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. So first of all, I'd like to echo what Nikki said, and congratulations to all the graduates and their families. And thank you to FIS for extending the invitation to me to come back today. It's a real privilege to be here. And with all those great models that we had earlier, isn't it interesting what Pearl said, that Ratish, with his charm, still managed to get in there and steal the show. Now, holding up this sand timer, what do we know? We know that the sand at the bottom of the glass is a time that's passed, not to be retrieved, can't do anything about it. The sand at the top represents the future. And in spite of where you are or how old you are, you really don't know how much sand is up there for you. So looking at this and knowing what we know, can you tell me what time it is? We're going to get back to that.
Mr. Paul, you have a...
Just about 2 years ago, I had the most remarkable, exceptional, rewarding experience when I took a trek to the base camp of Mount Everest and the summit of Mount Kalapatar, which is a neighboring peak. And as I stood on top of Kalapatar, we had arrived at base camp about 2 in the afternoon after a long, long day. And at 3 in the morning, we got up to summit Kalapatar. And about 7 o'clock, we arrived at the peak. And as I stood at the peak of Kalapatar, with its 360-degree view of the Himalaya, 5 of the world's top, highest mountains in the world in view, and the sun rising up behind the tallest of them all, in Nepal, Sagamantha, to us, Everest. As I stood there, taking in this view and reflecting on the accomplishment and the achievement which we had just done, and the steps it took to get there. So thankful and grateful. And it was a journey I was taking with my daughter, which made it even that much more special. And with so many takeaways, I've been asked, what was your biggest takeaway? And was it life-changing? Well, let me put it like this. So my daughter and I arrived in Kathmandu, Nepal. And from Kathmandu, we had a short flight to Lukla, which is a mountain village, accessible only by foot until this airport was built by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. And Lukla Airport is known as the most dangerous airport in the world. It has a short 1,700-foot runway. And most runways are 8,000 to 10,000 feet. It's situated on the side of a mountain, one chance at an approach, and the runway runs up to help slow the plane down. What an exciting adventure and a shot of adrenaline for this trip. In Lukla, we would meet our guide and our Sherpa porters. And from Lukla, it would be 9 days to Everest Base Camp. Trekking through some of the most beautiful forests, surrounded by the majesty of the Himalayas. Crisscrossing across a valley over 9 suspension bridges. A stop at a famous and remote Buddhist monastery. We had an opportunity to spin the prayer wheels, receive some blessings for our climb. The peak of Everest there in the distance. And sometimes, when I looked up at another big, steep incline, and as you're getting higher in altitude, and the oxygen is less, it's not only physically draining, but really mentally taxing. And how often I would think of Dr. Martin Luther King's words when he said, "Don't look at the whole staircase. Focus on the first step." Focusing on the step, the next step, instead of being overwhelmed with this seemingly big problem. And as we got above the tree line, where the sound just seemed to fade away, and the earth seemed devoid of life, I thought of the words of the spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle, who said, if the earth were devoid of life, would time matter? And he answered by saying, the time is now, of course. What else is there? So they're climbing up the side of the mountain. Off the grid, no text messages, no phone calls, no emails, nothing. I wasn't carrying the burdens of the past, the worries of yesterday. I wasn't carrying the perceived worries of tomorrow or the future. I was focusing on the step I was taking at this moment. And it's so vital, so critical is that, because one misstep or lack of concentration could be critical, could be fatal, worse. That's like life. Focus on the first step. Now you can say, okay, Paul, like that's the side of the mountain. I got things to do. I got assignments, I got emails to answer, I got something happening next week, I got an event, and I got a speech to prepare, and I got all this stuff. Bills to pay. This isn't to say to ignore those issues that you have. If there is something you can do about them, then do it now. Procrastination is a killer. If there's something you can do, then do it now. When you set a goal for yourself, and most people, 90% of people haven't set a goal. You ask right off the street, you ask 100 people, 90 would look at you like, what? But when you do set a goal, when you know your goal and you know your purpose, you know where you're going. Otherwise, you don't even know where you're going, but you know where you're going. And the key to achieving the success is to focus on the step you're taking now. If each step is successful, you will assure yourself of getting to your goal. That doesn't mean you won't have a misstep or a little failure, but that's a key stepping stone to success. You might learn more from the mistakes you make rather than sitting back and not taking the step because you're waiting for the right time. It'll never be the right time. Time is now. A year from now, a lot will have happened. A lot will have changed. And you will either be in the same spot or you'll be somewhere completely different. Either way, it will have cost you a year of your life. So imagine if you decided even to take one step towards your goal every day. A year from now, you will have taken 365 steps towards your goal. Where might you be? And a year from now, you may wish you had started today. In the Zen tradition, there's a saying, if not now, when? Remember the question? The sand at the bottom is a past not to be retrieved. Sand at the top is the future. You don't know how much is there. So, after what I've said, that's moving, that's changing. Can you tell me what time it is now?
Thank you, Mr. Paul. That was incredible. Now, it is time for our table topic segment. Yes?
It is time for table topic segment, but executive decision, because of the time limitation, has been that we are going to take this table topic session to next year and to next year's graduation, as we have a lot of people to give awards to as well, and most importantly, we would like to hear from our speakers also. So this has been an executive decision, not Ms. Zaini's decision of the office bearers of the Gavel Club, as well as the table topic master and the people who are going to be selected to respond to table topics. Okay, thank you. So let's move on.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And next we have a special presentation by Rebecca Miller. I would like to all remind you, police officers are the unsung heroes of our society. They are the protectors of our communities and the guardians of our safety. Today, Mrs. Miller is here to share her inspiring story with us. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Alex, I must say, you're amazing. Before I even start, I think you have the room in stitches, so thank you very much for our entertainment tonight.
No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and the remarkable graduating students of our community. Today, as we gather to celebrate your accomplishments and embark on the next chapter of your lives, I want to share a story. A story about resilience, determination, and the power of giving back to our community. I grew up in a small town in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, surrounded by 4 siblings and parents who worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Despite the financial hardships we faced, my parents instilled in me a strong work ethic and an unwavering determination to pursue my dreams. As I approached my final year of high school, I made a promise to myself and my family. I would break the cycle of struggle and make them proud by furthering my education. With sheer determination, I enrolled in university, working 2 jobs to finance my studies. While working in the emergency department of the QE2 Health Science Center, I found fulfillment in helping others, but my true passion lay in becoming a police officer, a beacon of hope and support in the community. However, that path to realizing my dream was not without obstacles. The Atlantic Police Academy and PEI seemed like the perfect opportunity, but the cost was prohibitive, putting my dreams on hold. It was then that fate intervened. A colleague brought me a newspaper with news of Peel Regional Police hire, and without hesitation, I seized the opportunity. Despite being miles away in Nova Scotia, I applied, flew to Ontario multiple times for testing, and eventually I was hired 25 years ago. Leaving behind everything I knew, including my friends and family, I embarked on a journey to pursue my dream of becoming a police officer with Peel Regional Police. It was a leap of faith, a leap fueled by my unwavering commitment to give back to the community that has shaped me and supported me throughout my journey. Today, as an inspector with Peel Regional Police, I stand before you as a testament to the fact that dreams do come true, and anything is possible with perseverance and dedication. But more importantly, I stand as a reminder that true success lies not only in personal achievement, but in the impact we make in the lives of others. As you stand on the precipice of your own journey, I urge you to think beyond yourselves, to embrace the power of the community service, and to strive to make a difference in the lives of those around you. Your dreams are valid, and with hard work and determination, they can become a reality. So as you step into the world, never forget the power of giving back. And remember that true fulfillment comes not from what you achieve, but from the lives you touch along the way. It is with great pride and admiration that I stand before you today, not just as an inspector with the Peel Regional Police, but as a passionate advocate for change, empowerment, and community cohesion. As we gather here for this annual graduation and fundraising event hosted by the Boys Gavel Club, we embark on a journey of reflection, celebration, and collective action. Tonight, as we honor the achievements of our youth and recognize the resilience of women, we are reminded of the power of storytelling. Each of you, in your own unique way, holds within you a story, a narrative of triumph, of struggle, of perseverance. And it is through that sharing of these stories that we forge connections, build empathy, and inspire change. In the realm of public speaking and leadership, your involvement with Toastmasters International speaks volumes about your commitment to personal growth and your desire to make a positive impact on the world. But beyond the art of rhetoric and persuasion lies a deeper truth, that leadership is not about the positions we hold, but about the lives we touch and the hearts we uplift. As we gather here tonight, let us not forget the importance of community service and the profound impact it can have on both the giver and the receiver. Whether it's volunteering at a local shelter, organizing a fundraiser for a worthy cause, or simply lending a helping hand to a neighbor in need. Each act of service brings us one step closer to creating a more compassionate and inclusive society. But amidst the celebrations and accolades, we must also confront the harsh realities that plague our communities. Internet partner violence remains a pervasive and insidious issue affecting individuals of all ages, gender, and background. As someone who has dedicated much of my career to supporting survivors of abuse, I've seen firsthand the devastating toll it can take on individuals and families alike. But I've also witnessed the incredible strength and resilience of survivors, the courage it takes to break free from the cycle of violence, the determination to reclaim one's autonomy, and the hope for a brighter tomorrow. And it is in their honor that we gather here tonight to stand in solidarity with survivors, to amplify their voices, and work tirelessly towards a future free from violence and oppression. My dear graduating students, as you prepare to embark on the next chapter of your journey, I urge you to embrace the power of we. To recognize that true leadership is not about the spotlight, but about the collective effort of a community united in purpose. Whether it's advocating for social justice, championing gender equality, or promoting mental health awareness, each of you has the power to affect positive change in the world. As you receive your diplomas and embark on new adventures, remember the lessons you have learned here tonight. The importance of empathy, the value of service, and the power of your own voice. And know that as you step into the world beyond these walls, you do not walk alone. You are part of a larger movement, a movement of changemakers, of trailblazers, of compassionate souls, striving to make the world a better place for all. In closing, I leave you with a quote from the legendary poet, Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Let us go forth from this place with hearts full of hope, minds brimming with possibility, and a steadfast commitment to build a brighter, more just future for generations to come. Thank you, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Together we can and we will make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Miller. That was incredibly inspiring. And now let us welcome Ms. Asiya Khan, family lawyer by profession and also a mother of our Gavelier, Shayan Khan. Please welcome her with a big round of applause.
First of all, congratulations to all the graduates. It's really good to see you guys graduating, obviously, and good to see my own son. He is new in this group, but then I think he is enjoying, and at least I am enjoying. Right? I have to push him, you know that, Mrs. Zedi. But then, yeah. Topic is a bit serious. I mean, we had such good time in the fashion show, watching that, and some of the other guests also. But the topic is important, obviously. I, being a family lawyer, not just a family lawyer, I have other areas of law too that I practice in. But family law is the one which is very draining, and emotionally, yes, it is very draining, but very rewarding too for me, I would say, because in a way I help victims of abuse, especially in family law. Rebecca was speaking about from her area where the police is involved. Well, after that or during that, victims come to me as well. So I am also there to help them in their family matter, and it's not easy, believe me. It's not. So what is domestic violence, or how do we define it? And Ritesh did introduce it in the beginning, and that was the right definition that you gave, was that it's a pattern of abusive behavior where one partner tries to gain or maintain power or control over another in their relationship. It is mostly so present in intimate partner relationships. And it occurs within all age ranges, religious groups, economic levels, or at all ethnic backgrounds. We know that, right? Most of the time, domestic violence occurs in stages or cycles, you could say, where the abuser's actions between each other make it difficult to seek help for the victim. How does it happen? How does it happen? So there are stages. When you say it's a cycle, it's a cycle of abuse. How does it start? So first of all, there is this what we call the tension building stage. What happens is there's this tension arises, there's a breakdown of communication, abuse, and then there's the second stage of the cycle where this incident happens because of that tension. And that incident can take place, it can be verbal, it can be emotional, sexual, anger, etc. Then it goes to the third stage, where there's this reconciliation. So what happens in that stage is that the abuser actually apologizes, right? And then gestures of love and affection. This is called the stage of reconciliation. And then there's the fourth stage of that cycle, where we call it honeymoon stage, or there's a quote unquote, what you call that, forgotten. It's the incident is forgotten, right? The parties are in denial. And then again, the tension starts to build. So the cycle is complete now. What I've seen in this is that when victims of abuse, as a family lawyer, when they come to us, they don't really know that they are going through that cycle until when we ask them questions, they come to know, oh yes, this was happening to me, this was happening to me. I never realized it, that I was being abused. So sometimes they don't even know that. Kinds of domestic violence, they could be physical, emotional, sexual, financial, can be any. Now, I would like to give some statistics regarding this, which will put this subject in perspective. 67% of Canadians know of at least one woman who has experienced physical and sexual abuse. Every 6 days, a woman in Canada is killed by her intimate partner. That's a huge number, actually. 80% police reported victims are women. Rate of domestic violence is higher as reported, right? So 70% of cases are not even reported. Can you imagine? And girls are 1.5% more girls, or times girls are more likely to experience abuse in the home than boys. Nowadays, currently what's happening and what's taking place, it's very prevalent, is the abuse that's taking place digitally, right? There is this, what do you call that, this gender-based digital hate, harassment, violence, digital, right? 33% of young women between 15 and 24 years of age, and 30% of Indigenous women, 50% of all bisexual women have become and are becoming a target of digital harassment and abuse. International data states that 70% of women worldwide face abuse online. More than 96% of responding domestic violence shelters in Canada served women who had experienced technology-facilitated gender-based violence, 96%. That's the statistic. How does it happen? Over the telephone, surveillance, computers, technologies, apps, and social media platforms. Coalition of Women is in journalism, it's an organization. They said that it reports that Canada is the country where the greatest number of women journalists were exposed to organized troll campaigns in 2022. Yes, there are legal remedies, there are avenues, but unfortunately in Canada, digital-based hate crimes is actually not that much addressed. We don't have that much legal recourse in Canada to combat that. 88% of people in Canada believe that we need to make changes so online spaces are safer for everyone. 88% believe it is the responsibility of social media companies to keep users safe from hate and abuse in their platforms. What is moral and emotional impact is obviously there. Everybody can understand what moral and emotional impact abuse has or violence has on anyone, like women especially, and children obviously, right? But it's just not the moral and this emotional only. There are economic impacts also. How is that? What are the economic? It's a very big, major threat to economic development, we would say. There are short-term impacts and there are long-term impacts. Short-term impacts effect on the economy are that women, obviously, from abusive homes, work fewer hours and are less productive. They cannot focus, right? They are working, but they cannot really focus because their mind is occupied and they are being actually influenced, right? Long-term impact is decrease in the number of women in the workforce, obviously, and minimized women education in this, and their gender-based violence can pursue different. I mean, they are, because they are not that, they don't get education that much, right? And because they are not focused, it impacts their productivity and obviously their performance and their development and their their contribution in the economy. When we say the impact, economic impact, not just the economic, what other impacts does it have? Now, Statistics Canada actually they have stated that $7.4 billion are annually spent to address violence. 7.4 billion. And when we actually break it down, how does it, where there are three avenues or areas where these costs are being incurred. Primary costs, right? First of all, it's the victim, right? 6 billion on medical attention, lost wages due to injury, depression, stolen or damaged or destroyed property. 6 billion is being spent on that. Out of we are talking about $7.4 billion, right? Second area is on third parties. $890 million, for example, on pressure is the pressure on the social services, on their operating costs, and losses to employers and negative impact on the children, obviously. Thirdly, third area is the justice system. $545 million are being spent on the criminal justice system, police, prosecutors, legal aid, and child protection, etc. This is the economic impact. These resources, if saved, could be actually spent on some other productive areas, right, for the development of the country. But unfortunately, the good thing is that there has been a big, because I'm a lawyer, I have to see things from the legal point of view as well. There was has been a major breakthrough last year. There was a law passed by the name of Kira's Law, very popular. There was a very unfortunate incident happened with a 4-year-old child who was killed by her father, and he killed himself as well. So it was a suicide murder incident. The child's mother brought the case, and the child's name was Kira Kagan, and it came to the law passed, and the law now says, and this legislation says that the judges have to, who are sitting as and giving judgments as in family cases, they have to be trained for these areas, right? In this case, unfortunately, the judge's background was labor and employment law. He did not understand what the children or the women go through, the abuse, right? In this case, the mother said the father is an abuser. He will harm the child. The child should not be left with him unattended, unsupervised. Judge did not understand. He said it's the right of the father to exercise his parenting time. The child was sent, he killed the child, killed himself. And from then onwards, this bill was passed and legislation was passed. There's a lot to say actually in this, but in the end I would just conclude, like, what can we do in this situation, right? How do we combat that? Addressing violence against women and children is urgent, and it needs sustained action from all levels of society, right? Like Rebecca is there, then we have social services, right? Then we have lawyers. Not only that, the community itself together. It is a pervasive issue, we know that not only violates basic human rights, but also undermines social rights and social progress and equality. By promoting awareness, enacting and enforcing laws, providing support services, and fostering a culture of respect and equality, we can create a safer environment where every individual can thrive without fear of violence. Together, we must commit to challenge and change the society at this time. Thank you so much.
That the problem is not really made worse with AI. For example, in the current status quo, you have social media applications like Snapchat tracking your every single move. They know your credit card information sometimes. They know your address. They can even track your location down to such a precise level that they know when you are in your room and sleeping. So, my friends, I want you to leave this room today, not convinced by me, but rather convinced by the truth. The correct path for the education system. With artificial intelligence, we can help our most vulnerable, keeping them from being neglected and falling through the cracks of society. If this motion goes through, our next generation of children, our next hope, will have their futures significantly hindered due to a decision that they could not control, and we could have easily stopped. So, ladies and gentlemen, take the futures of schools. Take equity in schools. And take AI in schools. Thank
To all of our debaters. That was quite interesting. So how many of you are for AI? Raise your hand.
How many?
Are for AI? Raise your hand.
For Derek or for Miss Zara?
Four is Ms. Zara and okay. Okay?
For Miss Zara.
Yeah, for AI is Ms. Zara. Raise your hand. Okay. And who is against AI? Raise your hand.
In the schools, right?
Okay.
No.
English better, please.
AI in school and
Right. Let's give some votes. Teacher versus student. So who believes that AI should remain part of the curriculum in schools?
My vote is not rigged. Don't worry about it.
All right, so
To be asking her to come in first, may I please ask Alex to take on?
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Please take your seats as we continue with our presentation of Mrs. Ikra Khalid. Now, Ms. Ikra was re-elected in 2019 and again in 2021. Khalid currently serves as Vice Chair of Standing Committee on Access to Information, Privacy and Ethics, or the EPHI, or as I like to call it, too many words in one sentence. As well as a member of the National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians. Please welcome her to the stage.
Pop up right here. How are you, my friend?
Good.
You doing well? Move my handshake. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Is it evening or afternoon still? Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to all of you and those that are celebrating Eid tomorrow. Very, very happy Eid to each and every one of you, or on Monday, whichever one you follow. I know that we can never get it together, but that's okay. We'll get there one day. My name is Ikra Khalid. I am the Member of Parliament in Mississauga, Erin Mills, currently serving as the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of National Revenue. I used to be the Vice Chair of the Standing Committee as of about 6 months ago, and I've done a lot of work on national security intelligence, but my main goal has always been how do we better support what our future generation looks like. And it's work that organizations like this do that really helps us in ensuring that we have a bright future. It's not always about engineers and doctors and mathematicians. With that creativity that's in there, that's how innovation happens. And what I see, the kids that I've interacted with, the people that I've met here today, you are all innovators. You are all a contributor to what our future is going to look like, to what the challenges of our future hold. You guys are going to be our problem solvers. Whether it's climate change, whether it's economic, whether it is dealing with health, but most importantly, one of the biggest challenges that we are seeing amongst our youth right now is mental health. And that's where empowerment really comes in. That's why it's so important to have people like Melissa. Hi, Melissa. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. I said Melissa. Hi, Asia. Great self-starters, supporters of the community who empower people, who take care of those that are most vulnerable, who have dealt with those challenges. And I'm so happy to see both of you here today. Thank you for your contributions. Where's Lynn? I can't see her. There she is. Another amazing leader in our community who's really doing the important work. And we don't always realize how important it is to bring people together in a room like this. Because a lot of the ideas that flow from one another are organic. That networking opportunity, that ability to have a face-to-face conversation, to explore ideas, to disagree without being disagreeable. It's a social skill that we really need in our lives nowadays. And I just want to say how proud I am of the work that all of you are doing in each
each and every one of your capacities. And I want you to know that I'm here as an ally and as a supporter to make sure that we are continuing to build bridges amongst each other for a stronger future, that we are building our youth, that we are protecting those that are most vulnerable, and that we are moving forward in a way where everyone feels included within our community, a community as rich as Mississauga, as Ontario, and as Canada. So I want to recognize that amazing work by inviting Lubna up here to receive a small token of appreciation on behalf of the Government of Canada and myself as your Member of Parliament in Mississauga, Erin Mills. I look forward to continuing to work with you, but today let's celebrate all of you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, stay here, please, because I have something small for MP Ikra Khalid as well. May I please invite Faiz Noorani and Pearl Zhang to come and present a certificate to Ms. Ikra on behalf of the whole Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Can we have the photo, please? It's a really nice photo. I'm going to keep this. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And Derek, I have to tell you, when you take the stage, it's very different. Very different. His next debate is at Parliament Hill Toastmasters. And I've arranged that, and let's see. They've lost to Gavel Club about 5 years ago. I hope they lose again.
Okay, up next, we have a presentation by Ms. Jillian Federico. Please give her a warm round of applause.
I don't know who that person is on the screen. It is indeed a great pleasure to be invited back to speak. But as I've been sitting listening, I've been thinking that one of the difficulties in pre-planning what you want to say is that as people before you speak, you can think of all sorts of other things that, oh, I wish I'd thought about that, or I'd like to be able to comment about that. This time, I have not brought a PowerPoint with me because last time the artificial intelligence wasn't working, and so therefore I didn't have access to the PowerPoint, so you can tell which side of that argument I'm on. However, you don't have to have any trepidation over the sheaf of papers because actually only one of them has writing on it and the other is blank. Ritesh, I guess your charm did get through to me because you managed to convince me to be here. However, I am very much a supporter of any kind of initiative which allows youth to develop their leadership in leading other youth. I am a member of the Board of Governors of the Army Cadet League of Canada, which focuses on that kind of leadership. I'm also a Dame of the Order of St. George, which is very committed to youth leadership. And the Voice Gavel Club exhibits many of the same principles that all of the other organizations with which I have been committed in the past have been committed. To celebrate the accomplishment of youth and in particular, any initiatives that start with them. They are the people who are laying our foundation for our future. And as I get older and realize that the post-war world that I was born into in the UK has changed, I think it's very appropriate for us to be paying attention to our youth, especially the ones who are doing the thinking. As a Dame of the Order of St. George, I am an observer delegate to United Nations conversations about human rights, about the abuse of women and children, about the rights to education for women and children. And so therefore, to see a focus on the sorts of initiatives which are trying to help people in those circumstances continues to fill me with hope. As an older person, I've seen many changes in education, and sometimes I yearn for the days of the classical education, even if it was a little bit elitist, that I was privileged, even as a child in a working class family in the United Kingdom, I was still exposed to the subjects that the Greeks and Romans thought were important, an emphasis on philosophy and rhetoric, which lasted for centuries. If you look at the title PhD, which I think you've seen a couple of times on the screen today, doctorus means a teacher, and philosophia means the love of wisdom. And there you've got a lovely mix of Latin and Greek in a title for something which we hold very dear. Many professions require an ability, first of all, to love wisdom and to develop it, and secondly, to be able to speak precisely, articulately, and with erudition, and to be able to construct learned and reasoned arguments, positions, defenses, and deliver them respectfully and concisely. Lawyers, politicians, researchers, teachers, clergy, journalists, and writers, and you, I'm sure, can extend that list, have all relied on those skills. And sometimes I consider considerable dismay at exchanges that I see among our parliamentarians who have not been the recipients of an education which enables them to think before they speak. It's often that people will rely on what they consider to be very clever, witty repartee, rather than to be able to seriously discuss and defend the positions that they hold. And I think that this is something that we have to work to overcome. That wit and laughter should never ever take the place of reason and wisdom. Some people are very good at monologues, not so much dialogue. And some people do not want to engage in dialogue because they really don't want to hear what we have to say back to them. I recently had the privilege of completing a course at the King Abdullah International Center for Interreligious and Interfaith Dialogue about how dialogue can contribute to peace. And certainly in my position as chair of the Interfaith Council of Halton, I'm very concerned with dialogue. That organization was founded after 9/11 to try to get people to engage in dialogue. Dialogue means two-way conversation. It means being able to listen respectfully and to respond. When the other is no longer a stranger, we have much more motivation to explore relationship. We may not always be able to agree, but dialogue gives us the means to disagree respectfully and peacefully and still stand, walk, live together. Listening is also a great skill. In order to be able to debate effectively, in order to be able to engage in meaningful dialogue, one first of all has to be able to listen. Not just to think about what you're going to say next, but primarily to hear the truth of what the person who is speaking is giving you. It's a skill which is not helped by our bombardment with social media. Having read a lot of materials submitted by students, I'm often a little dismayed at the demise of language, the demise of skills that we often took for granted. And, you know, when we talk about AI, unfortunately, Derek, I have constant explosive arguments with my computer over its lack of understanding of what I'm trying to say, where it tries to replace words that are meaningless or useless or inappropriate, or tell me how to change my spelling or my grammar, which I'm very convinced is already correct. For you who have focused on polishing communication skills, for the young people gathered here today whom we're honoring, you are modeling for your peers, and perhaps for some of your elders, some wonderful skills, which I trust will give you lots of support for a lifetime. And when we mention the word hope, it always makes me think of something I learned in a Greek class, a Greek fable about the opening of Pandora's box. Does anybody know that story? Okay, I can see a few of the older members of our group here. So perhaps it's important for us not to forget those classics. That when Pandora's box was opened, all of the evils that we now face in our world came out of that box, along with a number of other things. But at the last check, there was one thing left in the box that human beings could grab hold of. And do you know what that thing was? It was hope. Thank you. And so I trust that no matter what we face, whatever challenges we have, whatever arguments, discussions, debates, disagreements, that I will continue to hope that we can learn to communicate effectively and for the good of our world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gillian. That was highly enlightening. Let us have a slight change of scene and let's welcome Owen Jang for part one of his wonderful performance. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Not ready. Okay.
This is too ugly. Can I just?
Want to start again?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Owen Jang. I'm from China, and this is my first song, and this is my original songs. Okay. One person broadcast up in the air. The spring is over, flower falls. Do you know where I should go? Should I fall in there? Middle of time. Neon crosses in the sun. Little star shining in the sky. One day I will hold your hand. Let's walking some time, waiting for this spring. Oh, what a memory. Talking about
a secret between us, waiting for next spring, falling into the summer. Day by day spent alone to wake up. Life so fast, life so slow, getting more control. Stories still contain me, keep falling in the dream. Rising stars again. Once a castle, you were inside, sleeping on the bed. I will find you flying in the sky when you wake up. I always stay with you. Don't think alone. Keep being darling.不知不觉又到夜晚，星星闪烁，耀眼璀璨。晚风静静的吹过，悄悄带来你的消息。我用轻声回你的心意。花枝花落，随风逐流，心泛起涟漪。日落之前，闭上眼睛，请你数到1，倒数完睁开眼睛。风流谁是两匹，纯真们握紧。来去匆匆，皆是过客，重复着别离。蓦然回首，人流之中，转身即是你。不是数着相遇，不必从过去，慢慢的走近，拥抱你。你的生命存在于我的今天和明天，是我对你的爱无疑的千篇。看着我，相信我会陪在你身边，循环着爱恋无数遍，请抽着更清真，不写出你心愿，就差别的梦境里，那些走出我故事，有点一切。我用了生命爱你，永远。
I forgot the lyrics. I forgot the lyrics.
Wow.
There you go.
He was right. That picture is Owen.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing, Owen. Next, prepare yourselves to be dazzled by our fashion show segment, featuring stunning colors by Amna Nawab Designs, Arabic kaftan by Modest Hues, the latest design from Deepak Parwani, and finally, our models will showcase the elegant pastel traditional garments from Karigar. Let us begin with Amna Nawab. Luckily, she is here with us today.
One round of applause.
Amna Nawab is a Toronto-based fiber artist who views creativity as a language. Her work is handcrafted by herself and is centered on storytelling, uses wool, cotton, silks, beads, and Goda embellishments to create texture designs. Amna crafts unique heirloom pieces, merging heritage South Asian art with contemporary design. Her goal is to make art relatable and accessible, producing handmade and digitally printed items like art scarves and dupattas. Her vibrant color sense enhances these as fashion accessories that serve as fusion clothing for both the Eastern and Western cultures. Learning embroidery from her grandmother, Amna pursued textile design and enjoyed a corporate career in handmade textiles. In January 2020, she became a fiber artist by choice to create handmade, one-of-a-kind commissioned pieces. Creativity holds no barrier. Next, she converted patterns and textures from her design archive into digitally printed product that gives her another platform to engage with her consumer. Her website, amnanawab.com, has a range of products. Each design has a unique theme and story, encouraging conscious art and fashion choices. Amna also shares her passion through guidance counseling, helping students with research and design conceptualization. She conducts online and in-person workshops in embroidery and fiber art for all ages, and collaborates with NGOs to support the well-being of women, seniors, and children. Her brand focuses on storytelling, confidence, and healing through color and texture, aiming to help others to find their own strength through fiber art. Let's welcome our models to the runway, ladies and gentlemen, with a warm round of applause.
Let's get out.
Thank you, Kariker. As we move towards the finale, we would like to thank all the models and designers. By the way, did you know that our models are here from two of the renowned modeling agencies in Canada? Gemini Modeling Agency and the Orange Modeling Agency. Many celebrities have graduated from these agencies. And now, a woman behind this segment, Ms. Zara, who is our senior most president from 2007 Dubai chapter. Ms. Zara truly exemplifies beauty with brains. With her remarkable dignity, poise, and multifaceted talents, not just in public speaking, but much more, as you can see. She combines deep knowledge with a humble spirit. Her resilience to rise up to tests and trials with bravery, empathy, and boundless generosity are matched only by her spiritual depth, making her a true inspiration to all. Ladies and gentlemen, let us thank Ms. Zara, and Gaveliers, please stand up for your senior.
Go back to final.
One more.
If she's coming.
Least awkward silence, by the way.
Okay, thank you, models.
Thank you, models, for coming and being a part of our fundraiser today. So I just have one last time, them on the stage, please. They're from Orange Models as well as Gemini Models. So let's welcome them all on stage one last time, everybody.
Okay, and now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's all enjoy a high tea session for some refreshments. Please do not forget to visit our vendor aisle, and the program will resume in 30 to 45 minutes.
And one more thing. After high tea, please return because we have celebration. So please do celebrate the graduates today. Don't disappear out there. There's a lot more to the event. Fantastic lineup, and so I'd like everyone to come. I'm so sorry that Chinese must have been really hungry, right? It's difficult to wait that long. So let's enjoy the high tea. High tea is, please open the back door, and there is silent function at the back. Grab your drawer with Diane, and silent function goes as well. You open the doors here and at the back. And I would like to make this supposed to be for high tea.